Hello everybody, we're eating sticky rice tonight, and one of our very favorites is this mushroom hot sauce. It's like a roasted mushroom hot sauce that we eat with the sticky rice. So as you can see, I've already prepped it. These garlic are humongous. They're really big. I don't know if you can tell. They're still in their skin as well. And so I have only put 3 here. So this is like a typical amount that I make where the whole thing is covered in mushrooms. And that's usually like one of these size packages. What size is that? 16 ounces?
16 ounces.
A pound of sliced. I usually buy them pre-sliced and then wash them, but they didn't have any, so I sliced my own today. But anyways, regardless, one of these nice like cookie sheets covered in mushrooms, and then just depending on how the size of these, I could go anywhere up to 5 garlics if they're smaller, but these are nice and big and plump. So we're gonna roast it. You can roast it at like 400 degrees. I decided to make this faster and I did 425, but we're gonna go ahead and pop these in here. They're probably gonna be, I'm gonna guess, between 10 and 20 minutes. We're gonna start with 10. We want some of the juices to come out of it so it can be soft. We're gonna be smashing this up later. So once I know how long I'm cooking these, I don't really know. I just keep going back and watching it, but I'll check in on it in about 10 minutes and we'll see if we need longer or not. The mushrooms have been cooking for about 20 minutes. I've got a fork with me because that helps me decide if it's done. What I do is I kind of smash the garlic down and see if it smashes down. Then I know it's pretty soft. See how that's just falling down. The mushrooms are looking nice and soft. The garlic is done. As you can see, it's nice and roasted. I need to peel it and just chop off that end part, right, that we don't want to eat. Nice and soft. Nice and golden, so soft. They're gonna mash up so nicely. All right. So what Succeed was using one of these smaller mortars, but he bought me recently, this is only my 2nd time to use this, he bought me this humongous one, and I love it, especially for this particular dish, because you want the mushrooms to get into little small pieces. When you have a big one like this, it's just a little bit easier to do that. So in the past, we used to use a sprinkle in like a little MSG right now, but I have since tried to take MSG out of our life, so I'm gonna just sprinkle in a little bit of salt. So I'm gonna grab my salt over here. Okay, so if you wanna see our sticky rice video, just click the link above. All right, so right here, I'm gonna just eyeball this, I'm sorry. Here, I'm gonna do it in my hand so you can see about, I'm gonna say 1/4 of a teaspoon.
This is Himalayan salt.
Yeah, it doesn't have, it's whatever salt, but that's the one I like. It's now time to roast our peppers and our green onions. So I'm gonna put the heat on high. I think if you've watched our past videos, you know we have a skillet that its sole purpose is to roast things. As you can see, it is clean. We wash it every time, but it just looks like this because roasting vegetables the way we do, it ruins a pot. So we just have this dedicated to roasting. All right, so you can do whatever you want. I usually keep the stems on to roast just because then it's easier to take them out because I just pluck them out. I'm gonna do a quick little spray of Pam. Okay, just so it doesn't stick quite so much. There we go. I've got 4 peppers. Okay, so this is a whole bundle of green onions. I've already trimmed the ends off, and I'm just gonna go halfway here and maybe get the very, very ends off here. That I'm not gonna use. Okay, and I'm just gonna throw this in. It's gonna roast. It's already on that high heat, so you can hear it. I love green onions. It'll be like a couple of minutes on each side. As you can see, let me grab my chopsticks. It's starting to come in, but we need, I don't know, it might be more like 3 or 4 minutes on each side. We'll see. We just need them nice and soft. We want the flavor of the roast to work for us. It's been probably about 3 to 4 minutes now, and it's starting to look pretty good. You can just tell the change in color here. It's getting like that brighter color. This one looks really good. We don't want them really burned. I mean, you can see a little bit of darkness there, but I don't want them totally burned like we do in our pho. So this is good. It's getting nice and soft. I'm gonna flip these, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, okay? So it took probably about 6 minutes, about 3 minutes on each side once that burner got really hot to cook these. It's so good. You can see nice and roasted on each side, they're flimsy, they're gonna be easy to mash up. So then, just like last time with our last hot sauce, just take off the ends, throw them in. So I actually start mashing a little bit at a time. So right now we've got the salt, the garlic, and the peppers in there. And I'm gonna make that into like a nice paste, covering this area so nothing pops up and hits me. But this is definitely one where you're gonna be getting your arm workout today. There you go. Lots of...
It's like a mushy paste.
Yes. And probably the thing that the garlic's super easy to mash because it's so soft, but it's those skins. You don't have to do this. I like to cut it up. It just makes it a little bit easier when I'm mashing the green onions. So we're gonna put the green onions in next. We're gonna throw these in. So this is not a soft mashing. This is like an intense, I am really taking those green onions out, turning it into like a paste. This is gonna get a little loud. It smells really good right now. I'm hungry. So it is into a pretty good paste, right? It looks a little different than it was before. Now, the mushrooms. Okay, what I have learned through making this a lot is that a little bit of mushroom at a time is much easier to smash up than if you put a bunch in. Okay, so see that mushroom? Smashing it. Let's see. Do you see that piece right there? Mm-hmm. We got those 2 pieces. So, I mean, see, we don't want like whole pieces of mushroom. We really want them mashed up nicely. All right, so we're gonna add some more. Just again, just a few at a time. So that way you can keep a handle. Make sure the mushrooms that you're adding, you've got them nice and mashed before you add your next set. But we're already, after this one, we'll be like halfway done. Okay guys, so I just got done mashing all of this. Let's turn it. You see, it's all mixed really well, and there's not any whole pieces. It's just little bits of mushroom, right? So all the flavors are there. I feel like fish sauce just somehow brings them all together, enhances it, whatever it is, adds a little bit of saltiness. And so we're just gonna do like just a little at the beginning and try to mix that up. I'm not smashing quite as vigorously as I was before because really it's just about mixing flavors right now. basically, I just taste it to see if it's got all the flavors and the saltiness that I like. The flavors are good. It needs more fish sauce though. So this is, as you can see, no real measurements. We're just eyeballing it all. So a couple more squirts.
This is how we allow people like
a couple more squirts. You can see how much I'm squirting in, right? Or how much I'm, whatever, shaking in. Maybe a teaspoon. Ooh, it's a really powerful taste. I love it though, but it makes me want some water and rice. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna make my husband taste it. Let me turn the camera on him. Tell me what you think. I bet you he's gonna say it needs more fish sauce. He always thinks it needs more fish sauce.
This is how you normally eat it. You get a rice ball. My kids love these. And then you just kind of
dip it in,
just like that.
What do you think?
That's really good.
Yeah. Do you want more fish sauce?
That's excellent.
He said no. Okay.
With all the flavors, it's like makes your mouth just water.
Yeah. My
And
mouth
it's
is
spicy.
watering right now.
You can taste all the flavors. And if you don't like mushrooms, you'll actually like this.
Yeah.
Christina doesn't like mushrooms, but she loves this.
I do.
So
we forgot one last thing. I always do the taste test before I add the last ingredient, which is cilantro. So as you can see, it's not very much cilantro, okay? Just a little bit. I'm gonna cut the stems off, put them to the side, and now this is like a fine dice, okay? And I don't even know if I'm gonna use all this, honestly. I'm gonna sprinkle some in and mix it around and see what I think. Okay, so there we go. Like I took maybe half of what I actually had. Throw that in there and I'll just mix it around really quick. You just kind of want to see that it's like little cilantro pieces throughout it. Of course, if you love cilantro, you're welcome to add more. Everyone does this to their own flavors, right? If you don't love garlic, you know, you might put less garlic in. If you want less spicy, put less peppers. It's all dependent on the way you like your food. So now it's ready to go into the bowl that we're gonna serve it in. Just try to savor every little piece of this stuff. Me and Succeed love it. I don't know, some people might be like, ew, that looks disgusting, but for me, this looks so delicious. I love the pops of green color in there. It's so yummy. There it is. I'm gonna put a tiny little cilantro on there. So, like Succeed showed you, you just get a little ball of rice, dip it in there like chips and dip, and enjoy it. I swear, whenever I joined this family, I fell in love with their food right away. So I hope that you'll at least think about trying this stuff because it's so good. And if all else fails, at least you're, you know, trying new things. All right, we'll see you next time.